And yeah, I'll definitely send you like the links to both of those.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, you're seeing more stuff like that and more people just like, hey, we can be better as a whole if we treat each other as a whole as opposed to like individual parts. And that's something I'm super excited about.
And I'll say that what's great that what you're talking about right now is that, I mean, we're a little older. Me and Steve have a couple years.
No, you're like 27, 26.
That's, about that.
Yeah, that's exactly what we are.
I got you if you came in. Like,
I'm almost 40. That's crazy.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But
Boo, you look 26.
Good. Thanks. But that mentality though, what you're talking about, in my life, I've always had this idea that there's a lot of these bartenders like I'm the best bartender. I'm you just said, like my bar's better, like F that bar or whatever, you know what I mean? But you're right. I think that now that you're mentioning it, that is kind of the truth, where it's like we have become like much more, open armed in our community as far as our bars go. Like, like you said, like maybe they're leaving your bar, you tell them to go to, they're leaving Chicks right now, but you're saying go check this other place out.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
We spread the love as much as possible.
There's some good people over there that would really take care of you. But I think you're right. That's really cool that's kind of happening right now.
Yeah. I was having a conversation. Speaking of fraternal order bartenders, it was a yes, and it was somebody who just started the group, and they were like, oh, it's super hostile all the time, and there's so many people with like bad opinions and stuff like that, and I just kind of had the conversation like, well, yeah, like there's going to be a bunch of bartenders on that page that you don't agree with, but like I guarantee you they do at least one thing better than you do. You got to find out what that is and like take from it, like. That's the whole. We used to have this conversation a lot at Twist. That where like too many people, especially I hate like the craft mixology. I hate the words because they sound pretentious, and there are going to be people who like wear them as a pretentious badge.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's just different skill sets. I know so many like. There's no other distinguishing word for that side of bartending right now that's not like pretentious, but that side. And then speed bartending, there's so many people who are like, oh, this is elevated, and no, it's different skill sets. It's apples and oranges. I know so many speed bartenders who are nasty creative minds. Gus, who did that competition with us, is a great example.
He was just next to me.
Yeah, he came from Smoky Bones. Like he came from like beers and shots and had like a creative tendency in him, and like now he's the bar manager of Twist.
Right,
tight.
That's awesome.
And then the other way around, where I know like so many like craftier kind of people. You're a good example. You're a great drink creator. That thing you did was awesome, but you found your home in like the speedier style, like the more like you like your bar 3 wrap deep and like that kind of like that social aspect. And I know so many from both fields that couldn't cross over.
Right.
It's just it's not one above the other. It's just different skill sets.
I think I've been lucky in that situation where I have gotten to do, cover the spectrum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where
Right.
it's like family bar, divey bar. You know what I'm saying? Fucking like.
And
corporate.
you probably learned something from like each and every one of those that you would not have been able to learn in the other spot.
I feel like bartending and life in general, man, just take something from the day. You know what I mean? Like something like you said, you're always it's the same person, every day coming in, but it's a different experience, a different mood, different drink. But I think that's awesome. Hey, you know what we should do though?
Take a shot.
Yeah, let's cheers to that.
Let's have a shot.
Let's cheers to that. I like that.
Such great ideas.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Yeah, that was great. So,
Chasers.
Back to the no, Dr. Pepper. I'm a bit. But anyway, but back to the competition thing. So you competed against Josh in the past. That's how you guys met. You didn't challenge, but you did. You kind of challenged me. You said, "Hey, man, you should try to do this, tiki challenge." And with the Bacardi and Campari, was that right?
Yeah, just like their conglomerate, like things they own. Yeah,
and that was really cool, man. So, how did you do there?
So wound up making the judges finals, and then I took the speed round, which if anybody's ever seen like the cooking show Chopped, where they give you like a random ingredient and you have like 10 minutes to make a recipe. So I took that one. Dude, can we like give a shout out to all the people we were competing against?
Yes, totally, dude.
Yes. All right. So Andre from Beatside Social, Sasha from Aunties, to do Kaylee from she's all over the place right now, but eventually Heirloom, Greg from Mr. McGregor's Cocktail Shed. Evan V. Lang from from Boyle Bay, myself, Crudo, Nudo, Gus from Twist.
Love
Who
it.
am I missing there? Matt Labarge from 411 York. There's somebody else in there. Who is it?
You did the Beachside Social already?
Yep. Bree. Sorry, Bree. Bree from the lovely Vintage Tavern. They're all amazing bartenders with
Yeah.
like distinctly different styles and like approaches to things, but that all support each other like we've been talking about. Go find their bars, have their drinks, please. They will blow you away.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Hell yeah.
No, that's super awesome plug there. No, that was for all those great people, man.
I love my friends.
No, that's great. I love that so much. Yeah, for me, coming into that thing, I was not prepared. I thought I was, and I did like all this prep work for these super like watermelon puree cubes and all this shit. But when I got there, I was like, I don't have a table mat, and everybody's got like pineapples and stuff. And,
Oh, dude, I found that out the hard
Tents
way.
and banners.
yeah, like, I didn't know.
Streamers.
I thought they were just good. Yeah, so it was a little strange. So I was like, fuck, what am I gonna do? So I ended up just like playing it cool. I was like, I'm just gonna walk downstairs. And then I'm gonna walk down the street a little bit, and I found a couple like big towels.
Yeah, you're on the
Like
ocean
tiki
run.
I was like, I know there's a fucking tiki towel around here somewhere. So I found 2 tiki towels, a tiki hat, and then I brought my watermelon in and just created my own little thing. But it was
When
it
I
was
did
an experience.
when I did the Remy one last year, I had no idea you were supposed to like decorate a table
Yeah.
whatsoever. I gave like so little anything about anything other than the drink. But I worked at Beachside Social at the time,
Yeah.
so I wound up just stealing a bunch of house decorations and like decorating the
Oh,
table
right,
like
nice.
that. That's the only reason I was
Smart
like,
man.
oh,
Yeah.
might wanna. I haven't heard about decorating a table, but I kind of feel like they're gonna do the same crap to us. So like, might as well show up. I bought like all my stuff from the thrift store that morning.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I have to say, like, so it was a fun experience. Like, so I was nervous for about 15 minutes, and that was when I realized that, like, I didn't have a setup, and I'm just looking at all this other stuff that people are doing, and it looks so great. All
Ice
their
luge is coming
yeah,
in.
what the fuck, man? You got a mascot? You know what I mean? Like, so I kind of panicked a little bit. That's why I took that little walk downstairs. But once I got my towels on the table and my little hat and, my sriracha bottles for all my mixers, I was like, whatever, this is fun. I'm having a good time. Like,
Well, and then the line of people comes, and it's just service, man. It's like you
Yeah,
don't have time to
service.
be busy. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have time to be nervous.
Yeah,
You're
you
busy.
can't.
Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
it was
But,
perfect.
It's like when you really have to pee, but then you get worked.
Right.
Yeah,
And you're like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess I don't have to pee anymore.
Hunger's the big one for me. It's like, oh, I'm starving. Oh, I'm not anymore.
Kicks in 4 hours later.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I was hungry. I
Loosen the bell.
Although I will say that Sasha, who won the thing, she did show up with like a table full of flowers because she's a florist. So there was a
that's
solid
cool.
little advantage
Oh,
there.
that's cool.
Tiki.
Yeah, I think by the time the speed round happened, where they're like, "Here, what was it? What was the ingredient? It was grandma."
It was Grand Marnier's. It's like Louis Alexander or something like that. It's their new. It's instead of being an 80-20 split for brandy and orange liqueur, it's 50-50. So it's like Grand
Oh,
Marnier, but
gosh.
more brandy based. Dude, delicious.
Yeah,
Get
I was
some.
like, that sounds delicious.
It's amazing.
Why
yeah.
did we not grab a bottle of that?
next time. One of
Because
these
it's
times.
like
Next time.
$100.
That's why we didn't grab a bottle
Like
of
Yeah,
that.
70, I think. Yeah, something like that. Don't quote me on
Remy,
that. It's probably
if you
not
want to
true.
support us and send us a few
Oh,
of those,
man.
that would be great.
I love Grand Marnier. It's so good.
I think by the time the speed round happened, I was confused. Like because I was towards the back, and then the sound in there is not very good as far as like when they're talking over the intercom. I would hear like hey woo, you know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know what they said. So I was just kind of in the back there, just making drinks. People come by, like making drinks for them, and then there would be a lot of. I'd have some leftovers, and I don't really drink rum, but I definitely drank some rum that day.
I mean, mixing it with watermelon, man.
drank.
That
Yeah.
sounds
We did
delicious.
But I definitely drank some rum because I kept pouring it out, and then so I'm like, I get they have to have a ticket, but like I'm not gonna throw all this stuff away, so I would just walk up to people and be like, "Come here, bring me that cup."
Yep.
Just pour out the rest of it. Like, take that,
Vote for Evan.
take that. Yeah,
Shots.
I am not pandering for your vote. Yeah,
Honestly, though, talking about that speed round, like that's another good example of like bartender community because
Yeah.
we thought it was gonna be like everybody gets the same ingredients and like do what you can with that. No, it was they gave you the base spirit and then it was like find what you can in house. So it turned into
Yeah.
everybody going to everybody else's tables and like, hey, like that hot note you had in your cocktail, like how'd you do that? And like, oh, it was a habanero tincture. Oh, dope. Can I borrow some habanero tincture?
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
Can I borrow this grilled pineapple juice? Like,
Yeah.
can I borrow your Y peeler?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Now I had somebody come and grab some of my puree, like the watermelon. I was like, I'm gonna take that. Then I was like, okay, cool, man.
Oh, yeah.
Matt Labarge
Spread
literally
the
did
love.
a cocktail that had an ingredient from every table, and it wound up amazing. Like that
Oh,
was
yeah,
like the
yeah, yeah.
bartender's cocktail. Yeah,
And then it was in the same glass. glass and everybody just sipping out of it. It was like, he was like, well, if somebody's sick, then I guess we're all sick. Fuck it.
Yeah, exactly.
Alcohol is disinfectant, right?
We're all in it together.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, so that was a super fun thing. I mean, hopefully in the future, I mean,
They're talking about doing a fall one already. Because
Yeah.
that one went so well, like an old fashioned kind of romp.
yeah, it was.
Ooh, I can see some pumpkin spice going on. You know how people love that.
You know that's gonna show up.
You know it is.
It's gonna be 3 people going.
So
like,
instead
"Oh,
of a
you doing it
watermelon,
too?"
you're gonna roll in
Damn
with some
it.
fucking pumpkins.
Yeah, I'll be there. Dude, I'll be there. There'll be the 5th competition. It's like, seriously, dude, watermelon again? Like, what? No, I'm not gonna do that.
Summer ain't over.
But no,
We're in our
I'll be
third
honest
summer
with you,
here in
'cause
Virginia.
When I first started talking, was talking to Tyler, but I was like, I'm gonna do a grog because I think I just love the name grog.
It's a good name.
I didn't know what a grog was. I was like, I thought it might have been like a style of drink I wasn't familiar with. I was like, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, so it ended up becoming a tiki thing, but it actually goes back to the British Navy, and grog was basically rum that was watered down.
History alert.
Yeah. This is our history segment of Passing the Bar podcast. But so basically grog was a English Navy drink, and then so what you ever heard of scuttlebutt? You ever heard the term
Yeah.
Familiar with
scuttlebutt?
the term,
Yeah.
but yeah, do explain.
So the people go, what's all this scuttlebutt about? But basically, a scuttlebutt was actually the barrel that they kept the grog in, and then the grog would actually people would like the Navy guys would show up with their big canisters. I can't remember the name of that right now, but basically what it was water and rum, and it was just a very diluted rum, and then they would just drink all day. So basically, like, they would just
Like
we
ancient
don't have
white
fresh
hey
people.
man,
water.
life sucks on this boat all the time, so just drink this stuff called grog. It's a lot of water, but there's some rum in there.
There's
You know,
some rum.
There's a little.
It'll
there's a
keep you
little rum.
hydrated, and you won't think about how hungry you are.
Yeah, so I thought it was neat. So when the whole this whole tiki thing started happening with Trader Vic and all them, like they, he looked at this drink from the British Navy and was like, grog, like it's kind of neat and it's got rum in there, so might as well. Look at that.
Talking about tiki.
That's perfect. But the tiki thing came around, and then grog became one of the drinks that was it Trader Vic and who's the other guy?
There's a few. There's Trader Vic, Don the Beachcomber.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
And there's
he was the first one.
Right, yeah, Don the Beach. That's right, Don the Beachcomber. But there's this who was the original? But he's definitely the guy.
I can't remember off the top of my
He's
head.
the guy. But yeah. So I was trying to do grog, and then I was looking into it, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. I can't do it. I don't know how I'm gonna do
Next
it.
time, just bring the barrel.
Yeah,
and
bring the barrel.
just design it so
Yeah.
it looks like
Yeah.
it. Have some mold in the
Right.
corners.
Yeah.
This has been sitting on a ship since 1700.
But definitely
I spent $6,000 on this barrel.
Yeah,
I never win.
What's that? Oh, it's my scuttlebutt. No big deal. It's all good.
Don't talk about scuttlebutt. Eyes here.
You might be onto something though. You have a whole history lesson for
Yeah.
when people come up. And you're
Well,
like,
I will say this is and then talking to the point of there were some seriously amazing cocktails, especially Tyler. Like when he brought me over his drink, I was like, okay,
You're like, well, fuck mine.
fuck my shit. So mine. But I think what I did was you ever seen those videos of mini like a little steak and a little potato, they cook on these little stoves.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, totally.
So what I had was that, you know what I mean? It was oh, that's neat. You know what I mean? So that was what I had. I didn't have anything very crafty. You know what I mean? I had this little thing. Or I bought key limes that were super small. It's it had little tiny garnishes. You know, and they're like,
Nice.
Oh, and the ladies were all like, oh my god, look at that little lime. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, you like that?
love it. But
I don't really know what crafty means, but your drink was tasty. So
you think
winter,
so?
yeah,
I don't know, man. I'm
Evan
very-
has a tendency to beat himself up
I
for no
do.
reason.
All good people do.
Yeah. So and then I explained it to people, and then that was the fun part. So the point I'll get to is where I didn't feel so comfortable in that space as far as being that not not mixologist how Josh would say I'm not gonna say I'm a mixologist, but just had that ability to make that drink up or make a drink like that. But I did have fun explaining it to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were like, well, what's it? And I'm like, well, I have the, I've shaved the, I shaved the rind of the watermelon, which gives it this kind of it was almost like a cucumber, bitterness to it, you know what I mean, inside the drink. And then I told them about the pulp, and then I used the, pulp to make the ice. And then I said, well, really what's going to be is a really strong and expensive, boozy, but refreshing watermelon rum punch. And then they would drink it and they go yeah, that was boozy, but refreshing.
But
When
refreshing.
has that ever been an issue?
Yeah, I know. So I have to say, it was super fun, man. I really enjoyed that. And thanks again for getting me to do that.
Oh, dude, yeah. There's more coming up. Like, definitely want to see you there.
Yeah.
I think that's like, to me, it's like the key difference. Like, you got excited more. It seems like you got more so excited about like the explaining the drink to people, the interaction with your guests than you did. Like, that's. I think mixologists, like, this is not perfect. This is not a hard rule for me, but like generally, I feel like mixologists exist to serve drinks and